This is KGW News at noon.
Hello, I'm Christine Pitawanich. Thank you for joining us. New at noon, for the first time, we're hearing from Heather Davis, the brand new CEO for the Timbers and Thorns. She spoke at a press conference this morning. Davis is the first woman to hold the CEO position for the soccer clubs. She replaces Merritt Paulson, who stepped down in October after a National Women's Soccer League investigation into misconduct within the organization. Davis says a big part of what she'll focus on, supporting her players.
It's incumbent on us to continue to do the work to support women in the workplace, to support our players on the field, and I feel really confident that we have the team in place to do that.
Paulson continues to own both the Thorns and Timbers, though he has said he'll sell the Thorns but will keep ownership in the Timbers. Davis joined the clubs in May of last year as general counsel. To North Portland now, where police say a man was shot and killed early this morning. It happened in the Arbor Lodge neighborhood. Police say around 2:30 a.m. they found a man dead inside a car near the intersection of Curtis and Bryant Streets. Roads in that area were shut down this morning for the investigation, but have since reopened. Police have not said whether they've made any arrests. And the man who attacked another man at a Max platform earlier this month just received TriMet's second ever lifetime ban. Police say Corin Kramer attacked an elderly man in Gresham, chewing off part of his ear. This was in the early morning hours when the Max wasn't running. Kramer is in jail without bail. TriMet's first lifetime ban was against a serial sex offender. He committed multiple lewd acts and cut women's hair on buses and trains.
Let's lower the speed limit. That's going to change everything. No, it's not going to change anything. A lot of people have just gotten more emboldened. It's just like, I'm going to run light. I'm going to go, I'm going to do whatever I want.
That woman is troubled by what's happening in East Portland. 4 people have been killed in crashes in that part of town just this month. The most recent incident was at Southeast Powell and Foster around 10:15 Tuesday night. Police say officers responded to reports of a pedestrian hit by a car. Medics tried to save them, but that person died. Another deadly crash happened early Monday morning at Southeast 92nd and Holgate. And then earlier this month, another deadly crash happening near Southeast Division and 168th. A man named Tyler David died in a 4th crash early last week. Investigators say the 44-year-old was driving out of a parking lot near Southeast 80th and Powell when he was hit and killed. Today, Clark County begins its point-in-time count. The idea is to get a snapshot of what one night of homelessness looks like in Vancouver and other parts of the county. Project Homeless Connect was at St. Joseph Catholic Church starting at 9 a.m., providing easy-to-access support for people who are homeless and also offering resources like housing information, vision exams, haircuts, and even a pet clinic. And speaking of the point-in-time count, officials in Multnomah, Clackamas, and Washington counties are doing the same thing. The effort started yesterday, and for the next week, volunteers will canvass the entire area to determine how many people are living on the streets. Blair Best looks into why this year's count will be done differently.
Every homeless person, a number.
I've been out here 3 years.
As the struggle for survival continues for many in Portland.
Challenging, very challenging, and it's hard to focus sometimes down here.
Inside this building on Southwest 4th, the latest research on this crisis begins.
This map that is all of these surveys coming in real time.
Maps of Multnomah, Clackamas, and Washington counties cover this conference room turned headquarters for this year's point-in-time count. That's the federally required survey of how many homeless people are in the Tri-County area. That includes people in transitional housing and shelters.
It's pretty stressful, right? So it's a massive event that launches on one day. This year it's launching across 3 counties at one time.
For months, Marisa Zapata has been prepping for this. The count started Wednesday morning and ends January 31st, with more than 200 volunteers surveying people on the streets. One of the main questions they'll be asking, where they slept on the night of January 24th.
It is the only time where we really try to go out and collectively count everyone who is out there.
Just a survey. Wanted me to do a survey.
Kalina Baines, who lives in a tent in Old Town, was one of the homeless people surveyed for this year's count.
Then you get different voices about what's changing out here and what needs to change out here.
The volunteers she talked with recorded her answers on an app, which is meant to be more accurate. Yet those behind the count admit the process is rushed.
So we're not going to get really great information about how people became homeless.
Also not included in the survey, how many people moved in and out of homelessness in a year, and the county's progress in getting people off the streets.
This is not meant to be an intensive, extensive research project. It is meant to be a census, a snapshot, and exactly what is happening in communities in this period of time.
That data will be used to try and get more funding from both the state and federal governments.
It's really important in terms of understanding national homelessness. However, it's incomplete without other types of data.
Blair Best, KGW News.
Okay, let's check in with Rod Hill in the Weather Center. And Rod, what are we looking at weather-wise today?
Well, I mean, overall, Christine, it's nice and quiet out there. We've been dry. We have light winds. We have cloudy skies that we didn't think will break. And we are already seeing cloudiness increase from the north. So even if the clouds that we started with would break up a little bit, we'd get the new batch of clouds coming down. So that all means gray skies continuing. Now, this north flow, remember, has a chance of rain showers developing overnight tonight, but we're still talking like maybe midnight or after. Some live cameras for you. It was beautifully sunny in Cannon Beach. Now they're starting to pick up a little bit of cloudiness. We've seen lots of people taking a walk on the beach, partly cloudy skies, 46 degrees. It was sunny up over Timberline, but they're now getting into the increase in cloud cover. So that gives you a better idea that Portland will likely not see any sunshine this afternoon. We're at 45. We still get up to about 48. Okay, look at this. Now I'm going to talk more about this coming up in my longer weather segment. This is Futurecast Saturday, 7 p.m. This is all snow in that bluish purple tone coming through downtown Portland. That's the new arrival time of that cold batch of Canadian/Arctic air that's coming in. Yeah, we'll talk more about this coming up in just a bit. Christine?